Among the models in this review is the Mercedes-Benz Actros truck with Hiab in red, and it's sold on its own as model number 92010. Also in red is the Not-A-Boom ASD40 trailer, and on its own it's model number 54610. The two models are also sold as a set under model number 92102. This review also looks at the Actros Hiab truck in the colours of Butelhauser, and that has model number 92001. After all that complication, let's get on and open the boxes, and we'll start with the Actros. Yes, it's competition time! So, the model in the box, is it red or is it yellow? Make your mind up, don't sit on the fence, the answer's not orange, it's red or yellow. So, place your bets, is it red or is it yellow? And if you voted red, you're a winner. But if you voted yellow, you are a loser. Moving on to the Not-A-Boom trailer, and it comes in its own box. And for anybody thinking that this model may be yellow, it's probably best that you keep taking your medication. Lifting the lid, and we have an unusual start because there's a spare wheel floating around. But the trailer itself is wrapped in soft paper so we can just pull it out. And included in the box is also a bag containing a few small parts. Before starting the review proper, we need to deal with a couple of small issues on the trailer. And in fact the spare wheel was not spare because it was part of the trailer and had come loose in the box. But thankfully this is a dead easy fix because it just presses back onto the axle. Not so easy, however, was one of the ramp chains, which was too short and missing its hook, so a replacement had to be obtained. There is some minor assembly to do on the trailer, and that includes fitting the ramp chains. It's easy to do, but just a little bit fiddly when your fingers seem to be as large as pork leg joints. The other thing to do is to pin the drawbar in its towing position. Again, it's easy enough to do, but it's tricky for anybody with inflated digits. For the detail, we'll start with the red Actros and the chassis all metal, with the steering axles being functionally modelled. The tyres are all of the same design, but the wheels look smart. And there's nice detailing of the Actros cab, including textured coloured door mirrors, and the lights have plastic lenses. Behind the cab, the exhaust system is plastic, and the body is all metal with the drop sides detailed in the casting. At the back, the Hiab is modelled in metal with a couple of the boom sections modelled in plastic, and there are some graphics which add detail. The Butelhauser version of the model is identical except for the colour scheme, and it really does look good because of the yellow colour and the detailed graphics. It's a limited edition model with only 300 made. The trailer was first introduced as a model nearly 10 years ago, but the detailing underneath is still good with tanks and a spare wheel. Up on top, the timber deck is replicated by plastic, and along the edges the extenders are modelled in the casting, although there is no yellow safety stripe. At the back there are a number of Not-A-Boom logos and the lights are painted. Let's start by seeing how the Actros powers along on the Cranes Etc. Autobahn, and it does a good job in a straight line. Looking underneath, the rear wheels spin together, and at the front there's linked steering on the two axles. It's implemented well because you can get a good angle of steering, and if we test it out, it rolls smoothly in a curve. The other area of functionality is at the back, and that's the Hiab loader crane. And to start with, there are a couple of stabilisers which pull out, although they're not smooth and there's a little bit of movement in the beams. The pads are on simple screw threads, so it's just a matter of turning them to lower them. You do get visible screw threads rather than smooth pistons, but you can support the model wheels free. Now we're ready to open up the Hiab, and it's good that the rams on it are reasonably stiff so it will hold any pose that you want to set. And there's also a full range of movement in that you can rotate it around as well. The other thing you can do to get a longer reach is to pull out the telescopic sections, and they slide smoothly enough. There's also enough friction between the sections so if you raise the boom up, the sections don't slide down under their own weight. So with the hook up, we give it a quick check with the tape, and it's a bit over 8 inches or 20 centimetres tall. Moving on now to the trailer, and we'll give it the rolling test, and as you can see it rolls fine. Looking underneath, the individual wheels are joined to common axles so they spin together, and a well implemented feature is the steering bogie because it's got a very wide range of movement. At the rear, the ramps can be lowered by removing the chains, But there is another feature in that the width between them can be altered, so smaller vehicles could be loaded. We've looked at the truck and we've looked at the trailer, so now let's join the two up. The eye of the drawbar on the trailer just goes over a pin on the hitch of the truck, and the relative levels are all okay, so it works fine. There is another display feature if you want it, and that is to put in deck posts on the trailer deck. They are metal and they slot into place well. So with our truck and trailer, let's move on to the genuine imitation real life test, and we'll load an excavator onto the trailer. Unfortunately, the giant Cranes Etc. hand crane has broken down, so we'll have to load this one conventionally. And after lowering the ramps, the excavator is driven up onto the trailer deck. Get your boom down, there's a good lad. And when everything's on board, we can just raise the ramps. And then that gives you a beautastic display combination. But from a transport standpoint, there is one issue with the trailer loaded the way we had it loaded with an excavator, and a truck could hit it up the butt end. Well, the best thing you can do under circumstances like this is to give the following truck a proper butt to aim for. This Actros and Hiab from NZG is a nice truck up to their usual standards. And even though the Not A Boom trailer is an old model, it makes a good combination and the set is recommended. The Bertelhauser version of the truck looks really good, and the colour scheme and graphics make it good enough to be highly recommended.